had a very challenging childhood. I was beaten, I was abused, and I was degraded for a good majority of my life. My so-called caregivers always used to remind me on a regular basis about how much of a financial burden that I was on them. So much so that upon me getting my first job, my so-called caregivers made sure to leave me homeless, completely broken, destitute, and then citing that because they raised me, it was their right to do so. Never really told me that they loved me. The typical rhetoric that I would get from them would be, I can't wait till you're gone, I can't stand you, you can't do anything right, your own mother didn't want anything to do with you, things like that. Going to school was also very traumatic for me. And while I consistently hold my own reservations about why that is, I also recognize that my reason for having an issue with going to school has always been due to my own adverse and unique experience, which is just that, unique, not typically the norm. And probably something that could have been cleared up had there been a lot more proactivity from my so-called caregivers. Anytime I would try to get assistance for my issues, I would typically be just rebuffed or forced to jump through a multitude of hoops that would usually end up being ineffective due to people not thinking much of my situation. I was beaten quite a number of times growing up. And his wife was always very abrasive and harsh with her words with me growing up. So much so that as I was growing up, eventually I just stopped showing up for myself because I could no longer cope with what was being said to me or what was happening around me. With that having been my upbringing, it impacted how I showed up for myself growing up. It has also impacted how I've been showing up for myself after I had finally been thrown out of said house. And in some ways, it impacts how I've been showing up for myself in my present day. And it's time for a change. I have been in therapy and on medication for quite a number of years, and it has been helping me. And I have been proud of myself for every stride and every move that I've made towards having a future, and the friends that I've made, and the groups that I've been involved with, and the work that I've done. But I would be lying if I said that there wasn't a part of me that still held on to the anger and the resentment and all the things that have been stored inside of my body because of what's happened to me. So I'm going to release a couple of videos that will be my way of silencing voices in my head and starting anew, and finally put to rest some of the things that have been bothering me for years. More to come soon.